Hey guys, like, comment, subscribe. We're doing some Trevor Bauer recap here. There's been a lot of news regarding him lately. There's been a couple options that he's hinted at going. We're going to speak about the first option that he has kind of hinted at most in terms of clues towards wanting to go to, and that is the San Diego Padres. What do you think of
Oh,
that?
who wouldn't? They're going to be a great team this year without him. And if we're talking about this a couple weeks ago, before they picked up players like Blake Snell and Darvish, with the roster that they already had above average pitching depth already, the Padres, they don't need Bauer, but with Bauer, then it's undeniable that they have the best starting lineup in the league and the best pitching in the whole league, for sure. To me, this is Bauer wanting to join that team because he sees them being a contender for the next couple of years, especially with putting up these big moves. He has a lot of interest in going there. I haven't seen much interest in the Padres picking him up. Maybe a couple of weeks ago, back whenever it was in the news a little bit more. But again, they just picked up Snell and Darvish. They have no need for that. And especially in a pandemic year, they don't, as much as they just up their salary by trading prospects and bringing in someone like Snell and bringing in someone like Darvish. I don't see them adding in another $40 million, no matter how great their team would be with Bauer. They're just looking for a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, it would definitely be very difficult to pull off from a financial perspective. Obviously, we know it can be done in baseball. It's really just kind of like you're saying, it's a matter of if ownership really wants to make that huge risk and take on another huge contract in a year where they're not going to have a full fan base. I guess the real difference is the fact that even in 2019, even in the years where the Padres haven't been great teams, they've been a team that's been mid-level in attendance. They're not a team that necessarily struggles money-wise in terms of ownership. So if they really just want to make a push and they are like, hey, like, we just want to beat the Dodgers, we don't care. I mean, if they want to go for it, absolutely. That would give them five
But it's hard
major.
to beat those Dodgers, though.
It is, but this would give them five amazing pitchers, 1 through 5. Where in sports we know likely at some point, like one of those guys are going to go down at some point, and the Dodgers five rotation is pretty solid all the way through. This would give Padres Blake
A leg
Snell,
up.
Darvish, Trevor Bauer, Chris Paddock, and then obviously you have Lee Emmett there as well, and both Paddock and Lee Emmett have been solid options for them overall. Both of them have been guys with under 4
Yep.
ERAs. They're both very young in that regard. Both not even 30 yet, too. So again, it gives them a super deep vibe. And this isn't even speaking about their offense. This is even in the shortened year last year. They had 3 guys with over 10 home runs. We obviously know what Fernando Tatis could do. Will Myers is a great player in his own right.
Yep.
There just wouldn't be really any weaknesses on this team. And then they also brought in at the shortstop too, who is it, Haesung Kim, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
For Meta Korea, from the
Yeah,
KBL.
exactly. So I mean, this is a team that they're clearly looking to win right now. So I
They're
wouldn't,
gonna they're gonna look good this year.
yeah, I wouldn't say it's unrealistic if they do try to make it, but the long term, it would definitely, like, they wouldn't be able to do anything for like 3 or 4 years. This would be their team, and they would have to win more than once for it to actually be worth it for the ownership, I would say.
Even if they win it once, it for a team like that hasn't really had the success in recent years, I think it's fantastic. So even if it does, if they're able to bring in Bauer and they win this year, it's worth it. But it's baseball, as we were just mentioning. Like one injury can throw off a year. Something like the Yankees, they had a couple injuries last year, and they were barely a top 3 team in their division, and yet they had the salary that only a team like the Yankees or the Dodgers can afford. So if the Padres are willing to put themselves into that category or really close to those guys, they better damn hope that they have a better team than those teams. Because if you're talking Dodgers and Yankees not getting an injury this year, is this Padres team overall better than those teams? Better at starting pitching for sure, especially if they're bringing Bauer. Way better at start. I say they have the best starting pitching in the league, hands down. But overall, are they still better than Yankees or Dodgers? No matter what, it's a hard say. So I don't know if the ownership really wants to go out and spend an extra $40 million just to have another chance, a higher chance at winning. Whenever right now they still have a pretty good chance And let's be honest, in the World Series, you only play 4 pitchers anyways. In the playoffs, you only play 4 pitchers. So like Bauer would obviously make it one of those 4 pitchers, but they don't really have a weak spot. So they're not replacing a weak person with Bauer. So I just think they're going to stay status quo. But if this team does get him, are they going to be a fantastic team to watch? Of course, they are without him though already.
Yeah, I would say they definitely would already be a contender in that regard.
Yeah.
It's just like we said, if they want to be a lot better, not even a lot better than the Dodgers, whether they have Bauer or not. Ultimately, it's probably going to be these two teams that are competing at the end of the day. What it comes down to, I would say more too, is if Bauer really does want to go there, he should be, admittedly, as much as he said he does want a big payday, he should be willing to take some type of pay cut because even though he was the Cy Young winner last year, it wasn't a shortened season. And it's not like he had just astronomical numbers. He had numbers that could definitely be replicated by other pitchers in this league. Overall, I'm a big Bauer fan. He's a very good pitcher. I have been since he's come in. But it's not like he was the best pitcher in the AL. He was a good pitcher. He was probably a top 10 pitcher, but he wasn't the guy who immediately, when you think of pitcher, most guys would say Trevor Bauer. He's a really good pitcher. And that's
He's
where
lucky that right now he's the best pitcher in the offseason.
yeah, and really too, I guess what it comes down to for him with that pay cut is in Cleveland, not only did they lose the World Series against the Cubs and he loses that out, but he's been probably the most vocal person in terms of hating on the Astros. For the Indians, obviously feel like they should have went to another World Series, run into the Astros with their cheating scandal, and Bauer again was the most vocal person about it all that offseason about just how wronged he felt, how they had a great team going into it, how they probably should have been the one going to the World Series. So I feel like he wants to win, and he should probably just accept a bit less money if that's what it's coming down to. Because for him to go to the Padres versus the other option is the Blue Jays, where of course they're going to be a very good team with him as well. The Padres have a more likely chance to win in the next 1 to 3 years than the Blue Jays with or without him. So
I'd say the next 1 to 2 years, I think the Padres really have a window right now.
yeah,
I
that's
think
what
they
I'm
really
saying.
have to take advantage of it.
Yeah, exactly. So
So
if he wants to win that badly, if he's that hurt by this double World Series kind of not coming to him, then this is his chance to go there. Take 25, take 30. Like, what's it going to make a difference to Trevor Bauer?
he
Like,
wants 40 though.
that's what I
He's
mean.
he's a very
It's
cocky person, right? You know, someone that he looks at people like Marcus Stroman who's getting a pretty good payday and going, I'm a much better pitcher than him. I can do much better than him. So I don't see him doing that. I don't see. I think his ego is too big.
definitely likely. I'm just saying, like, from my point of view, if those things matter, then he should be willing to make a bit of a
Willing,
sacrifice.
yeah.
Yes,
And
definitely.
if he does, then the Padres would be the team for him to go to.
Definitely. But we're going to do some Blue Jays content on this too soon. So definitely check it out, guys. Let us know what you think. In the meantime, give us a like, comment, subscribe, and we'll be back soon.